So underarm, collarbone, and this is the kidney point. And for those of you who understand or know Chinese medicine, the kidney 27 point, is really, really good for clearing fear and also fatigue. So many of you know Donna Eden, her work. This is her favorite. This is one of her favorite points, is just to tap this pointer, hold it and rub it. It gives you energy. It strengthens the kidney chi and clears fear. Okay, so we've got under eye, outer eye, inner eye, outer eye, under eye, underarm, collarbone. Okay, and then the last series is some hand points. So this clears grief, holding the lung point right on the edge, on the outer part of the nail. Okay, so you're going to hold that for a few seconds. Come back to the underarm, collarbone, and then we're going to hold the pinky. This is the heart meridian, but it clears, this clears anger. That kind of, that deep victim hurt kind of anger, not just anger like you're in traffic, but anger that goes with being misunderstood and maybe feeling unappreciated, unseen. Pinky, okay? And then come back to the collarbone kind of anchors this work. And then the last point we hold is the index finger, which is the large intestine. So we all know what our intestines do. So this really is a dump. This one, when we massage and work with the large intestine point, it clears that lugubrious kind of Eeyore energy, the dark, heavy energy that we can carry when we feel victimized or triggered. Okay, big pile of work, and I have no choice. I can't. It's just the story that gets triggered. I have no choice. I'm trapped. I'm stuck. Okay, large intestine has to do with not letting things move through. Okay, if there's a block in that large intestine, thinking or energy of the body. Okay, oftentimes you notice in yourself or another when someone gets constipated, usually there's some kind of constipated thinking in their lives as well. My mother's very best friend, I can remember, she lost her husband and she was constipated for literally 2 weeks. She didn't poop. And finally, when she was able to grieve and acknowledge her loss, her digestive system came online, but she had to go through the process of realizing that he was gone and that she had to accept that, and she had to let go. And in the meantime, she employed laxatives and her other things. But the bottom line is her system just seized up with the resistance to letting go. So that's another law of the universe, right? When we resist, the pain was persistent because she was holding on so tight. Another lesson for another day. Okay, so let's pretend you got dumped on, big pile of work. You're really pissed, whatever you're feeling. So I want you to go into, close your eyes, go into what it might feel like, or choose a different situation where you may be feeling victimized, or something came up on the mat where you're like, I can't get into that posture as deeply as I want, and whatever the negative thoughts are. I'm getting old. I've always been stiff. I'm this, that, or the other. Whatever the thought form is, this will counteract it, and I'll explain more. So go into it. The more you can go into it, the more you clear. So I say hold or tap for about 7 seconds. Same thing here. Remember, this clears fear. This bladder kidney is always fear. We're clearing frustration out of the gallbladder. And I'm going to go quickly because this is a longish session. Then we're going to go under the eyes. And this is a stomach point, and the stomach is part of the earth energy. It's very grounding. And these are all helping to clear the energy out of the nervous system, the vagus nerve. And then I'm going to have you hold under your arm. Collarbone. We're going to go through this quickly. Thumb clears grief. Underarm clears sadness. Collarbone clears fear. Pinky clears that real victim-y anger, frustration, but feeling trapped or unappreciated. And then come back to your collarbone. And lastly, that lugubrious large intestine. Okay, so we're not done yet. So now I want you to take a deep breath, and I'm going to have you tap on the back of your hand between your pinky knuckle and your fourth ring finger knuckle. Right in the back of here, there's a little divot in between those tendons. So as you tap, I'm going to have you look down to your right without moving your head, just move your eyes. And then down to your left. And then I'm going to have you rotate your eyes slowly up and over one direction. And then up and over the other way. And then I'm going to have you hum a little tune. Mary Had a Little Lamb out loud. We're just playing with the brain right now. Count to 7 out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And one more hum. Mary had a little lamb. Okay? All right, let it all go. Now, chances are, going through that sequence, there's some other variations on that theme. I'm borrowing this from one of my teachers. This is called Instant Emotional Healing by Peter Lambrou and George Pratt. These are kind of the gurus of the energy psychology, healing trauma through the meridians and the chakras. These guys are the gurus, at least in our country. There's probably some great people in your world as well. So the reason we do this, in addition to the breath work, in addition to the chakra clearing, is to begin to really change the brain and our reactivity to triggers. And why do we do this? Because the more we clear, the more tools we have to manage our emotions, the more we actually stay in this state of tranquility and actually more responsiveness rather than reactivity to the stuff that goes on in the world. I mean, we've got political stuff swirling, we've got people suffering, environmental stuff, we've got personal stuff in our own little families. There is so much going on that this almost seems like an impossibility sometimes, right? So what I find is that I've incorporated this holding. I don't call it tapping. I don't like banging on myself. I like holding. It's very nurturing. It's very slow. You know, some people have done the EFT. Nick Ortner is great. But I like to hold. And I can do that if I'm meditating or if I've done a yoga series and something comes up. I incorporate a nice slow hold on the issue. And then I go through the tapping, looking down, up and over, and then I hum, and then I count, and then I hum. And then you go through the sequence, so it's a sandwich. You go through the holding, the tapping on the back of the hand. It's the only tapping I do. And then holding again. I definitely feel a level of peace, and it's a wonderful way to integrate everything. The grounding, the clearing of the chakras, the intentionality, because sometimes we have these really high standards for ourselves, right? We want to be, we want to show up in a certain way at an event, or you can use this for public speaking phobias or fears of swimming or whatever. You can take it and apply it while you're thinking of the issue, and it'll definitely bring your reactivity down. These points actually change brain chemistry, and they've used this technique with survivors of genocide in Africa and natural disaster zones and things like that. You'll see people working with CEP, comprehensive energy psychology, in addition to other modalities. But I really love this. So that's about all I have for this conclusion today. I honor you all and offer namaste to your work. And if you would be interested at all in something further, let me know. Speak to Lisa. I've got a deep desire to share and to teach and to bring this idea of the transpersonal psychology piece right into the body. So I'm excited about that. No spiritual bypass here. We're going to face our stuff and trust that as we face it, we're supported. There's all kinds of universal light holding us in this powerful transformational time, so that we actually get brighter and more vibrant and more higher vibrations every time we go through a process of clearing. So I'm excited about it, excited to share it, and wish you the best of luck. Much love. Namaste.